Rustic Farmhouse Spring Refresh. Budget decor ideas featuring thrifted and handmade finds. Hello friends, and welcome back to Vintage and Rustic. I'm David, your host here on this cozy little corner of YouTube where we gather to celebrate the charm of vintage finds, rustic treasures, and farmhouse-inspired decor. There's something so comforting about stepping into a space that feels well-loved, filled with pieces that tell a story, and warmed by the patina of time. As the seasons shift and spring starts to awaken the world around us, it's the perfect opportunity to refresh our homes without breaking the bank. I've always believed that you don't need to spend a fortune to create a beautiful, welcoming home. Sometimes, all it takes is a little creativity, a visit to your favorite thrift store, and maybe even a touch of handmade charm to transform your space. So today, I want to share some ideas for a rustic farmhouse spring refresh, filled with budget-friendly decor ideas featuring thrifted, upcycled, and handmade finds that will bring warmth, character, and a touch of the season into your home. One of my favorite places to begin a seasonal refresh is the living room. This is often the heart of the home, a gathering space where friends and family come together, and it's the perfect spot to let your rustic farmhouse style shine. Think about swapping out those heavier, darker textiles for lighter, airier fabrics like cotton and linen in soft, neutral tones. Pale blues, creamy whites, sage greens, and soft grays evoke the gentle colors of spring and work beautifully with rustic wood and vintage metal finishes. Look for thrifted throw pillows, vintage quilts, or even handmade cushion covers in gingham, ticking stripes, or delicate floral patterns. Consider adding a simple cotton runner to your coffee table or a weathered wooden crate as a rustic tray for springtime displays. You might The kitchen is another wonderful place to welcome in a bit of rustic spring charm. It's amazing what a few thoughtful, budget-friendly changes can do to refresh the space. One simple idea is to swap out heavy winter decor for thrifted or handmade pottery in soft, earthy tones. Look for old stoneware crocks, vintage mason jars, or charming handmade mugs with a rustic glaze. Open shelving is perfect for displaying these treasures, along with wooden cutting boards, woven baskets, and vintage kitchen tools. Fresh herbs and thrifted terracotta pots add a touch of life and color to your counters or windowsills. You could even craft your own simple spring wreath using foraged branches, dried flowers, and some twine, a lovely, handmade touch that costs next to nothing. And don't overlook the charm of simple, thrifted linens. A gingham tablecloth or a set of hand-embroidered napkins can make even an ordinary springtime breakfast feel special. It's these thoughtful little details that bring a sense of warmth and authenticity to a rustic farmhouse kitchen. Let's step outside for a moment, because a true farmhouse spring refresh isn't complete without a bit of attention to the front porch or backyard. These transitional spaces are perfect for showcasing those rustic, thrifted, and handmade finds. A vintage metal watering can filled with spring blooms makes for a sweet, welcoming touch by the door. Old wooden ladders can be repurposed as charming plant stands or draped with vintage linens for texture. Handmade signs with hand-lettered spring greetings or simple botanical sketches add a personal, heartfelt element. I love placing mismatched chairs and small wooden tables on a porch, gathered from thrift stores and flea markets, then giving them a quick refresh with soft chalky paint and pastel hues. Add a few handmade or upcycled throw pillows for comfort, and you've created a cozy outdoor nook to enjoy those first warm days of spring. The key is blending the old with the new, mixing time-worn textures with fresh, lively elements to capture that perfect rustic farmhouse balance. As we wrap up this little seasonal journey, I hope you're feeling inspired to embrace the beauty of thrifted and handmade decor for your own rustic farmhouse spring refresh. There's truly something magical about filling your home with pieces that have a story, items you've lovingly collected, or things you've made with your own hands. It makes a house feel like a home, unique, personal, and reflective of the people who live there. Whether it's a bundle of foraged wildflowers, a weathered wooden frame found at a flea market, or a cushion you've stitched yourself, these little details create a sense of comfort and connection. They remind us that beauty doesn't have to be expensive and that sometimes the simplest things can bring the greatest joy. Thank you so much for spending time with me here on Vintage and Rustic. If you enjoyed this relaxed, cozy look at budget-friendly spring decorating, I'd love to hear about your own thrifted and handmade finds in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more rustic farmhouse inspiration. From seasonal room makeovers to antique market hauls and DIY projects that bring a little vintage charm into your life. Until next time, I hope your days are filled with sunshine, blooming flowers, and the joy of creating a home that feels as welcoming and beautiful as a spring morning in the countryside. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.